Okay, so now we're going to do an example where we're applying multiple translations. And as you can see, it's vertical and horizontal shifts with reflections. And I can say without any certainty, this will be a exam question. And I'm going to put the final exam in this case. It says below is some function y equals f of x. Sketch the function g of x equals to negative f of the quantity x minus 2, then plus 3. So in this case, I gave us a semicircle. It's not a full circle in this case, so it is a function. And I want to translate this function based on the type of transformations that I have. And I do think the best way to do this is to recognize the type of transformations we have. So I'm going to go below real quick, and I just want to rewrite my function. But notice I'm going to start color coding some of the parts. So we have g of x equals, I'll put the negative in green. It's x minus 2. So I'm going to put the minus 2 in red. And I'm going to put the plus 3 in blue. So I want to perform the translation, and I want to write the translation in words as well. And when you want to write your translation in words, you need to follow the order of operations, which is PEMDAS. And I can write it over here. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction. And I'm going to put this part in yellow. When you go to the pre-calc, it's exponents, but it's also radicals and logarithms. So really PERMDAS, because we have radicals and logarithms, but that's for a different story. Anyways, let's focus on the inside of the parentheses. Inside of our function, we have subtraction. So when we have subtraction inside of our function, that is shifting to the right. Once again, when we're subtracting inside the function, that's shifting to the right. So number 1, we do the parentheses. So that's right 2 units in this case. After parentheses, it is multiplication or division. There is multiplication to the function, and that is a negative sign. Negative in front of anything is multiplication of negative 1. The negative is outside the parentheses. And as we've seen in the last video, when there's a negative either inside or outside the parentheses, usually as multiplication, that signifies some sort of reflection. In this case, because the negative is in front of the parentheses, that is a reflection over the x-axis, a reflection about the x-axis. So step 2 is reflect about x-axis. And when you reflect over the x-axis, you change the sign of the y-coordinate. And then number 3, or rather, after we do multiplication or division, we have addition or subtraction. And in our case, we have addition. We're adding 3 outside the parentheses. And because we're adding outside the parentheses, represents you're shifting the function up by that many units. Because we're adding 3 outside the parentheses, we're going to go up 3 units. So this is the translation in words. And once again, that comes from the order of operations. Start inside the parentheses, try to find an exponent, but in this case, exponent just determines the shape of the function. Multiplication, either the negative is being multiplied inside or outside, or there's a number being multiplied inside or outside. We'll see that in the next couple of videos. Then do addition or subtraction. All right, So let's first label some points on this function. I'm going to perform one translation on this graph and then the other two on the next graph. And I'm going to use dashed lines for that. So the first one says you want to move to the right 2 units. So we're going to take every point that I just labeled and move it to the right 2 units. So the point on the bottom left, move right 2 units. The point on the bottom right, move that to the right 2 units. And the point at 0, 2, move that to the right 2 units to become the point of 2, 2. And then we're going to sketch our function. I'm using a dashed line to represent the sketch. And this first representation is just the shift of 2 units to the right. Okay. Now we're going to reflect the coordinate about the x-axis. Now, if you notice, the point 0, 0 is on the x-axis, so that stays where it's at. The point of 2, 2, when you reflect that about the x-axis, you change the sign of the y-coordinate. So that becomes the point of 2, negative 2. And once again, 0, so rather 4, 0 is on the x-axis. So that means it stays there because you really can't change the sign of 0 because it's neutral. But look here, this graph represents a reflection across the x-axis. So now I'm going to label this one. This graph is y equals to negative f of x minus 2. Put the save face, put that in red. And I want to remind you that means reflection over the x-axis. So I'm going to put over x-axis after 2 units right. Excuse me. And then last but not least, you want to take care of number 3. Because number 3 says after you do that, you want to move the function up 3 units. So that means you're going to take those green points and move every green point upwards 3 units. So the point 0, 0, if you move that up 3 units, that becomes the point of 0, 3. Take the point of 2, negative 2, move that up 3 units. That becomes the point of 2, 1. That's up 3 units. And then take the last point of 4, 0, move that up 3 units. That becomes the point of 4, 3. And then we're going to sketch. I'm going to erase the blue lines because I don't need them no more. And there we go. And it's already beautifully written here. So I'll point the arrow right there. And that's our final answer. That is that is g of x. That graph there is function g of x. So I want to write here, this function was shifted up 3 units after reflected over x-axis and rather, I'm going to use not proper English, after shift 2 units right. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Hope that problem was helpful. You'll see a similar one of this in your ALEKS homework, also on your exam. I'll be nice. I'll highlight the final answer. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.